Hey guys, CJ here at Top 10 Cards and Games. It's February 1st, which means we just had the Refrain Reflect Errata go into effect here in Force of Will. And with that comes the challenge of building new decks and figuring out what rulers you're going to play, so on and so forth. I think that even with the nerf, Refrain and Reflect is still extremely powerful, even if you're just cycling on your own turn and building up counters half as quickly. The power the card brings is just massive. And I think it's still worth trying. I'm not sure if this is the best way to utilize it. I'm basically sure it's not, but this is where I wanted to start. I'm playing something that was very popular at the very beginning of the R&R meta, which was the American Incarnate deck, American Guiber, whatever you want to call it. Red, white, blue, I play Guibers on turn 2. And the mana requirements for this deck are a little bit steep, so we are playing 4 Moonshade, 4 Roller's Memoria, and then a Heat Ray and a Heartscore. The Heat Ray is kind of unfortunate. It might be... no, it's definitely better off as a Heat Ray. I was going to say it could be a blue-white stone, but Heat Ray is definitely correct. The only white card in our deck is actually Guiber, but we want to be able to cast it on turn 2 in 100% of our games, so we need to hit a white stone by our second turn, and having 9 white stones is necessary to hit that. In order to facilitate playing turn 2 Guiber, we have 4 copies of Cthulhu. Just all-around powerful card, gives you a lot of sweet tempo swings, especially when you're sacrificing something like Ruck Egg, which we have 4 of in our deck. Ruck Egg has a lot of utility in general, always being able to be sacrificed for various different sack effects, Incarnate effects. We already covered Cthulhu. We also have 4 Guinevere's to both sack with it and that it can search out. Guinevere also pairs very well as Cthulhu with the Little Red engine. We have 4 Little Red Hope of the Millennia and 2 Granny by the Fireplace for it to get. These cards again just feed Guiver really well and make it very hard for aggressive decks to play against you since you're able to block so efficiently. Then finally we have 1 Susanoo, because I assume a lot of other people will still be playing early Guiver since that was the meta beforehand, and I still think it's one of the most broken things you can do in the game. Ruck Egg being able to search up Susanoo is very powerful. Even if you don't search it, or even if they don't play a dragon rather, it's a very strong card, just a 6 mana finisher. And I think it's worth an inclusion, especially when your deck can search it up. 1 red creature that's not in here that I would have liked to fit a copy of is Lancelot. Just so we could have another threat that we can tutor up and kind of play a medium game instead of trying to go entirely over the top, which we certainly could fit in, but I'm pretty happy with all the cards that I'm playing right now. I'll talk about the one thing that I might drop for one in a little bit. Next we have 4 Cheshire Cats. One of the only blue cards we're actually playing, but Cat's just too good in these kinds of decks. Just giving you so much card selection, being able to dig 2 cards deeper, then put the card you don't want on the bottom with Reflect is very powerful. We have 3 Unfathomable. Not 4 because we don't play enough cards with different attributes to really get sick value out of it all the time. Cat shuffling itself back in makes it much easier. I think the blue-red combination is the best combination you can get on it, and it does fuel Guiver plays without using all of your mana, which is pretty cool, though it does not fuel the turn 2 Guiver as well as some other hands. Or some other cards, rather. Next we have 2 copies of Hera. Just an extra blue creature. These could be Alice's Little Scouts, but I decided a little bit of interaction might be better. I don't know which one's stronger. I might actually switch to the Alice's. Just because you get a little more value if your opponent's not playing Regalia, and it's another 1-drop for you to play to feed into your turn 2 Guivers. Then 4 Guivers, the most important card in the deck. We could definitely cut a copy of Guiver. We have so much card draw in our deck between Guinevere, Cheshire Cat, thinning from all our searchers, draws from Hera and Unfathomable, that plus Reflect. You can easily get to a Guiver on your second turn while only playing 3 of them, and that'd be an opening for us to fit a card like a copy of Lancelot in, so we could go a little more medium. Finally, we do have to play Regalia, so we have 4 copy of Change the World and 4 copy of Gleipnir. I like Change the World. I think it's very strong. We're able to put counters on our guy. We're not going to use the draw card effect all that often, but since we're playing 8 Rainbow Stones, it's not unheard of if we have spare mana in the mid-game and we've kind of gotten ourselves into a grindy game state. Gleipnir lets us grind on the ground very well again, so we can trade with our opponent if we get into one of those goofy kind of stalemates. Or if we're just trying to swing through with our Guivers for damage, we can make their Guivers block our little creatures and get in for 12. Which will put us ahead on the clock since we can, or even we can tap their Guiver down that way or force it to block and pump up our Guiver to kill theirs. So it just gives us a lot of utility. One regalia that's not in here that, again, might be better than, like, if we cut, let's say, a Gwyver for Lancelot, then we can maybe issue one of these, play a different regalia suite, and play a copy of Horn. Then we're able to shuffle back in our Gwyvers so we don't run the risk of running out of them in a long game either, which might be better, but I decided just to go for the consistent draw engine. And that's the deck. I don't really have a ton to say about it since this format just started and people haven't really been playing a ton of games with the Errata already in effect. So it's just time to get out, start playtesting with these decks. Let me know what you guys think you're going to play post the R&R Errata. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Errata, that is that you can only use it on your turn. So that halves the amount of cards you get to see, halves the amount of counters she gets, which, you know, halves the speed of the deck, halves, not the consistency, but it does cut the consistency down a fair bit of the combo decks. Specifically, losing counters is the bigger one of them, actually. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, what you're going to play, how you would change this deck since it's far from perfect. And just thanks for watching.